All right. Thank you. Natalie, yeah, take it away.
Thanks so much, Jeremy. I really appreciate the invitation to speak, and it's nice to see you again, Eileen, and to meet the rest of you. Um, I want to start by talking about just some of the basics. It sounds like most of you already have a really good handle on this, but it never hurts to be reminded. I think one of the more important sort of pivotal points that could be made is that everything we do to build a successful neutral practice is about entrepreneurship and business. And when you think about building your practice or building up membership in ACR or whatever it is that you're working on, having the mindset of a business person as opposed to having the mindset of a mediator who's trying to build a practice, I think is really important. And it's not just a word play. I'm not trying to be clever. It's the difference of a mindset. When you come at the world thinking of yourself primarily as a mediator or a neutral or a facilitator, et cetera, then that's the lens through which you see everything. If, though, you think of yourself primarily as a business person, as an entrepreneur, that's the lens through which you see everything. And you'll see much greater response and success if you come at your practice development or your membership drive or whatever it is you're working on through the eyes of an entrepreneur or a business person. I think you'll see greater results faster, which makes it more fun, which means we stick to it and enjoy just everything that we do a little bit more. So think about yourself as an entrepreneur and as a business person. And that means, for as much as we all have to keep up with the resolution industry, it means we also need to be dedicating time. It's a daily diet, listening to business podcasts and podcasts about entrepreneurship and watching those videos on YouTube and attending seminars and webinars and reading those books. So we do need to sort of keep our practice on both train tracks at the same time, first as a business person and second as a neutral. So having said that, there are some basics that we all need. It's 2023. You absolutely positively must have a website that is clear and concise and speaks directly to the issues that your potential clients are looking for you to fix. So you have to have a website. And then, of course, again, it's the digital age, and social media plays a really big role in all of the things that we do. The other thing that will make all of your activities much easier is by starting out with a database. And I know it sounds like donkey work because it kind of is, but it can be made a lot easier if you go to a website called directoryofassociations.com. And directoryofassociations.com, you can sort by geography or you can sort by topic specialty. So you could put in legal and it will bring up all of the various bar associations and attorney litigator groups, right? So if that's your primary target market, then that's the list you want to make. And directoryofassociations.com, they're all clickable links. So you'll go right to the association's website and you'll be able then to get their contact information, the URL, all of those things. So for all of the tasks that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, having that database is going to be really important. The other database that you might want to consider are all of the people with whom you've previously worked, because the people who already know you are the folks most likely to refer you business or to give you business again. So once you've got those databases, everything gets to be lots easier. There are 5 primary ways that we're going to use that information and leverage it. The 5 ways that we most often build our practices are through writing, speaking, training, networking. And then when those 4 things come home at night, they live on social media. So writing, speaking, training, networking, and then social media. And all of these things create in the eyes of your prospective clients the idea, the trust that you are a credible authority on your specific topics, on your subject matter. And that in turn creates the most important thing for us in building our practices, and that's trust. Because if they don't trust us, they're not going to give us their cases. They have to trust us to give us their cases and bring their clients. They have to trust us to allow us into their management meetings, or doing facilitation between employees and management. All of those kinds of things require trust. So the tasks that we typically follow are pretty old school comparatively, because they are tried and true. They are the ways in which for centuries we've built professional business relationships. And that's what all of this is about. So we'll start with writing. And the kind of writing that we do for our purposes, for practice development, is generally not a science paper. It's not a dissertation like Eileen has written. It's generally short articles, 1,200 words, 1,500 words, more kitchen English than the King's English. And we are looking for a way, a platform to communicate, again, to our prospective clients that we know what we're talking about. That reader is our people, right? We have experience, we have knowledge, we have things that we can share, we have things that make their day better, their day easier for their client management, whatever it might be. Those are the kinds of articles that we write. And so if you're a great writer, fantastic. Writing is a great way to get your name out there. But writing also allows us the opportunity to create an evergreen asset, so that when you write an article, it doesn't just go out to the bar journal. You also put it on your website and you share it on social media. And in that way, it's always present. And the reason that that is important is because of social proofing. And so we've all done social proofing. When we want to, for example, I don't know, get our sinks replumbed, we go onto Google and we Google, find a plumber near me. And that's similar to what your clients do. I promise you that they are Googling you before they even have the first phone call. And again, what they want is proof that you're a professional, proof that this is what you do as a business. They want proof that you are who you say you are, that you do what you say you do. Maybe you've got testimonials, that really helps. But all of those things really matter. Social proof counts. If you're a mediator, your potential clients are going to log onto your website. They're going to log onto your LinkedIn. They're going to look at all of the different places where you've published your article, and they study you. If you're doing arbitration, they really study you. They go through every line item. All of your media is scrutinized. So it's a little bit different between mediation and arbitration, but they really want to see that proof. And having an evergreen asset like an article is great. It also, though, allows you to leverage the publication's readership to get eyeballs onto you and your practice. And so that kind of collaboration is really important. So it's not just you posting on LinkedIn, for example. It's not just you publishing a newsletter. Now you have access to the other readers that you'd like to be introduced to. So that's writing. And I know that writing can sometimes be challenging, but you'd be surprised once you start thinking, I need to write an article, I need to write a post, I need to write. Once that's in your mind, it's like that hangnail that you can't stop pulling at, on the side of your finger. And the easiest way to take advantage of that is to keep a journal or a list on your smartphone. And as you're walking the dog or sitting at a stoplight, make a note of the idea that you have for the title of an article or the title of a post. And then if you're still sort of stuck or you're up against a deadline, or like me, sometimes, at 6 a.m., you got your cup of coffee and you're just looking at a blank screen and your brain also is blank, just smooth brain. One of the great tools that we can use for this very old school technique of marketing and promotion is to use very modern AI. And so you can open OpenAI or ChatGPT or any of the other various AI programs, put in the title of your paper and ask the AI system to generate a 1,500-word article. Tell it the tone that you want it to take, tell it the details that it should include, and let it create the article. Then copy and paste that into a document. Do not publish what the AI produces for you, but open it up in a document and then make those words your own. Put it in your own voice, use your own vocabulary, add details, add richness and texture, tell a story, and make it yours. So when you're facing that blank screen and you're just stuck, let AI give you the jumping off place, because it's a lot easier to edit something and make it your own than it is to, just sort of create something out of thin air sometimes. Sometimes I can sit down and just start typing. It's just there and I have it. Sometimes though, I'm pushed up against a deadline and I'm drawing a blank, and AI is one of those tools that can really help out. So that's writing. And to get your articles published or to gain interest in them, you want to go to that database that I was talking about a minute ago and sort through all of the associations and organizations that you think are comprised of your primary or secondary, tertiary target markets even. Click on the website and look to see if they have a blog or a podcast or a YouTube channel. And if they've got a publication, then scroll through and see if you can identify any topics that they haven't covered, or any topic maybe that was covered, but you disagree with the position that article took. And then connect with the editor or the publisher and let them know that you have something that would fill a void or that would be contrary to a previously posted article. And, explain who you are, what you do. Give links to your website, give links to your social media, your YouTube channel, whatever assets you have available, and make yourself available. And the other thing that editors really like is when you offer and say, look, should any author not be able to meet their deadline, give me a call. I can get you a 1,500-word article, within 48 hours, 72 hours, you list your parameters, but let them know that you're available to fill that emergency, right? And so evergreen articles, powerful way to market and promote. And they stack up. It takes a little bit of time, but so does practice development. No matter what god you pray to, none of them, in my experience, give mediators and arbitrators instant gratification for practice development. And that's just not how we roll. It takes time. And so building up articles is a great way to do it. I have one client, Phyllis Pollock. She's been a client for 23 years now, 24 years now. And she has published on her blog every Friday, almost without fail, for more than 15 years. Her blog is one of the best resources for ideas and samples of what kinds of articles people are looking for. And more often, we just don't have the attention span that we used to. I don't know what your nightstand reading list looks like, but mine is bigger than it's ever been. I think that's probably true for everyone. And I really want bite-sized pieces. I just want you to get to it. This is the introduction. This is the pain. This is the solution. This is the conclusion. I don't need a bunch of flowery information. I need it to be digestible and I need it to be actionable. And that's kind of what people are looking for from you. But one of the best ways to keep people reading is to use the 7 tenets of storytelling. And if you want, I'll send you an article that I wrote about how you lay out the 7 tenets. All the best novels, movies, etc., they all use these same 7 steps to telling a great story. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll send it over for you. So that's writing. The next thing on our list was speaking. And public speaking is one of those things, when I mention it to my clients, you can see they instantly get sweaty palms. It's not for everybody. I understand. Public speaking is, I think it's seen as an extrovert's game, but actually I find that public speaking is a great way for an introvert like me to cleverly disguise themselves as an extrovert. And the reason is because you're behind a podium and the people are a little bit at a distance. And there is engagement, real authentic engagement, but there's still that little bit of distance. And if you are not yet a great public speaker, I don't want to persuade you, but I want to tell you why public speaking is so great. And as a business person, public speaking is one of the most powerful activities that you can pursue in building your practice. And the reason is basic math. So the math behind speaking publicly is that if I'm at a conference room and there's 100 people listening to me, I will have, hope, done a good job speaking to them, but I won't have said exactly the right thing at exactly the right moment to everybody in the room, and that's okay. So let's imagine 90 people, they applaud, they thank me, and then they step out into the lobby and they continue networking and, you know, eating and drinking and socializing and doing their thing. Fantastic. But to 10 people in the room, I will have said exactly the right thing at exactly the right time. Now, here's where the fun part gets. Those 10 people then approach me, the business person, because they've pre-qualified themselves as being prospective clients of mine. Now I'm spending my limited resources, my time and my money, only communicating with those people who've pre-qualified themselves as potential clients. As a business person, that's a much better use of my resources. Now, 6 months go by, a year goes by, and the other 90 people will have read an article or seen my posts on social media or watched one of my videos or, I don't know, joined me for Marketing Monday or any number of other things. And at some point in time, I will say the right thing at the right time to that person, and they'll connect with me. But I don't sell, right? That's really off-putting. So you give great quality, you give really good content, and the people who find it interesting and want to hire you, they will approach you. And then you're concentrating just on that group. So public speaking for that reason is one of my favorite tasks as a business person. And if you want to speak publicly and you're not feeling really confident about it, join Toastmasters. Toastmasters is one of the greatest organizations in worldwide, and they will help you. Or maybe you've even been speaking publicly. Go join Toastmasters, and they will help you really level up. They will up your game. They will help you hone and fine-tune your public speaking skills. Making eye contact, not using notes, what kinds of gestures should you use? How do you engage? When do you use humor? All of those kinds of things are really important. So public speaking is really, really great. I would recommend that, and now I know it seems contrary, that you not start public speaking on this kind of format. Giving a speech on Zoom or any other virtual platform is by far more difficult than speaking face-to-face from behind a podium. And the reason is because I have to look at the camera. So that you have the perception that I'm making eye contact with you. So I can't look at all of the little squares that are on my screen. So I don't see if your eyebrows are knit in confusion. I don't see if you're bored. I can't tell if you're laughing at my jokes. I can't hear you. So I'm not really confident on the level of engagement when I can't see you. And I'm going to assume that that's true for every public speaker. This is by far the more difficult way to be a public speaker. So do this after you've practiced, after you're really comfortable delivering your information, looking at the camera, not using notes, not reliant on PowerPoint or handouts or that kind of thing. But public speaking, definitely one of my favorites. And again, when you're speaking publicly, you're leveraging someone else's membership. You're leveraging someone else's organization. So your name goes out to their groups. And then, of course, you put a link on your website, you post on social media, all of those kinds of things. So again, it's an evergreen asset. And if you're working with a group or they allow you to record your speech, then you've got a video that you can use on YouTube or the audio file that you can use for a podcast. And those things will keep you top of mind in the long term. Let's see what's in the chat here. virtual formats and connecting is a real art form, Darby. And so you can create authentic relationships. As the speaker, it's a little bit more difficult. So it's more difficult than face-to-face, because on this format, we're going to talk about, business. And then we log off at the top of the hour, as opposed to a face-to-face where we can, really connect. We can have an interpersonal conversation, et cetera. So it's a little bit different. It isn't that this is untenable. It's just that I wouldn't recommend this is where you start. This is what you work your way up to. So, but that's public speaking. I love it. I enjoy it. I love this format. Love meeting the new people. The connecting is absolutely great. The next thing that we want to talk about, we talked about writing, we talked about speaking, let's talk about training. And I think from your introductions of yourself earlier, training is one of those things that you might really enjoy and get a lot out of. And so again, you go back to your database and you identify all of the corporations, the chambers of commerce, the organizations, the associations, sports clubs, sports groups, et cetera. And you connect with them and you look at the trainings that they are normally used to taking, and then you fill the void. You do better than the trainers that they've previously had, or you fill that void. So when you're offering a training, again, it keeps you top of mind, because when someone runs up against a challenge, they need a mediator, they need a facilitator, they need a conciliator, they need your verbal judo skills. Obviously, the first person they're going to think of to help them is you, the person who taught them those kinds of skills. And again, it seems a little contrary. A lot of clients, when I say you can do a training, they say, well, why would I want to train up my competition? I want them to hire me. Well, the truth is, most people who attend the trainings are never going to be your competition. They're not going to quit their day job and become neutrals, but they will become clients. They will become part of the choir that sings the praises of your resolution services and you in particular. And so a training is great. And training, again, can be one of those evergreen assets. You can record it. You can create workbooks. You have all of your handouts. You can create the role plays. You can do all of those things. And because you've created them, you can sell them. You can post them on social media. You can put them on your website. You can use them. And when you have these kinds of assets, and they build up slowly, but it makes it so much easier if you've written and published an article to get another article published. The same with public speaking, the same with training. Once you've done one or two, that snowball starts to roll faster and faster and faster, and it gets easier and easier until you've reached a point of not having to reach out any longer, and groups and organizations are inviting you to come in. People that you don't know will reach out and say, hey, I saw a thing. Hey, I watched a video. Hey, I read an article. Hey, somebody told me about a training. Could you do that for me? And that's a really lovely spot to be in as a business person. So training, you most of the time you will be in person, but you can do trainings online. You could put your trainings on Teachable or any number of platforms. You can sell them, you can give them away for free, you could put them on YouTube, put them on your website. But again, it's about you proving, you showing up and saying, I'm a thought leader, I'm a credible authority on this particular topic. And, I'm the person that you can trust with these kinds of conversations, these cases, these parties, these issues. So it just reinforces over and over again that you're the right person for the job. Your trainings could be short. You could do a long form training bifurcated into sections and record videos and put them on a YouTube channel so that they're accessible to everyone. And then you reach out to people and let them know, I normally do a 3-hour or 1-day training, or, 2-day, 3-day, whatever your training modules are looking like. And here's a sample. Here's what I look like. This is what I sound like. This is the kind of language I use. These are the kind of points that I make. Let me know if that works for you. If not, I can customize a training just for you and your group. But training is a great way. And then, of course, you put it on social media. You thank the organization for having invited you in. You connect with those members so that on social media, they're reminded by all of your posts and your presence, oh yeah, There's Jeremy. Oh yeah, there's Jeremy. Oh yeah, Jeremy. Boy, Jeremy's really on it. Jeremy's, got things going on. Oh yeah, that's Jeremy. Boy, he's really at the hub of all of this, isn't he? So that when it's the right time with the right case, they'll connect with Jeremy. They'll reach out and bring him in. So writing, speaking, training. The next is networking. And I think networking is, if you didn't do any writing, speaking, or training, networking is sort of the one activity that you really can't skip. Even if you're an introvert, and there are there are thousands and thousands of books written about networking, lots of YouTube tutorials, podcasts, articles, blog, on and on it goes. Networking is one of those topics that's really widely covered because it is really important, and you can get good at it if you're not good at it already. I think that one of, several mistakes that my clients make most often is